Alright guys, back inside. We'll wrap things up in here. So you can see from the video kind of a rough idea of what the accuracy is like out of my poor man's sniper rifle. So a couple of things on that. Number one, I'm not a sniper, never was one, don't make any claims to be one. I use the term generically when talking about the rifle, okay? Just because I know somebody will get wrapped around the axle about that. If that's what you wanted to see as far as the accuracy of the gun, there you go. Probably best to stop the video here, because the following bit of commentary is just going to be just that, just some commentary on me on the idea of the rifle and what's going on. Now, I know I did most of the groupings at 50 yards. I only did those couple at 100. Again, wasn't the best of conditions to try to really show what the rifle was capable of, with the friggin' wind coming and going and the rain in between and yada yada. But it's the real world, right? I want to get back out and really try to get some better 100-yard groupings with it, and see what it'll do. I've got to get more ammo. I only had just, those couple of boxes of ammo with me just to try to get it zeroed and get a rough idea of what it's capable of. Now, I think it's safe to say that it's capable of some great accuracy, especially given what it is. So that said, stop the video here if you don't want to hear me pontificate and ramble anymore, okay? Thanks for watching. Alright, for those of you that are still here, I feel like that with this gun, I have proved my point. I know I've proved it to myself, and I think it's only going to get better from here. Guys, we're not shooting bullseye competitions at Camp Perry, okay? I'm not a hostage rescue sniper. I'm not trying to do, well, rather let me rephrase that. A quarter MOA gun that'll hold that all the way out to 1,000 yards won't give me any real world usability more than a 2 MOA gun that'll hold it out to 500 or 600 yards, okay? I think sometimes we tend to get wrapped around the axle on the minutia of things, and it's easy to do, right? You see everybody talking on the internet about all these ways to better accurize your gun, and this match grade barrel, and this match grade ammo, and this $1,500 scope, and this $500 trigger, and just ad nauseum. And while all of that's great, and you can make some amazingly accurate guns, I think we get lost in the woods on it, that we want, or I want, real world usable accuracy that I can take out and get dirty and muddy and in the woods and in the rain and the heat and everything else, and hit a man-sized threat at an extended distance over what I can with just my regular fighting rifle, okay? Again, the context is everything here. We're talking about as an armed, prepared citizen. I mean, let's face it. Right now, while the world is in a normal, and I shouldn't even say, well, normal for what it is, current state where there's power, electricity, and 911 works, most likely I won't get a lot of use with that. One of my other general fighting guns is going to do, or probably be more likely to be of use to me, because I'm not going to use this for home defense. I'm not going to use this as a get home gun. I'm not going to use this as a bug out gun. This would be, the world's gone, okay, and life was eaten, we know it, has ceased to exist, and now I am working with my neighborhood, I'm working with my family and friends in my group to defend our retreat, our property, our neighborhood, whatever. So the threat matrix is going to be a lot more obvious. It's going to be a lot broader. And if I've got known pillaging hordes that I can effectively engage at a distance, again, if I can hit a man-sized target in the chest cavity at 400 or 500 yards with this, its job's done, okay? That, in an armed prepared citizen role, is a sniper rifle, okay? Again, quote unquote. Because I can engage targets much further out. The further out you can engage something, the better it is for you. Distance is your friend, right? I can do that with this, I think is plainly obvious. And I haven't had to spend a ton of money on it. Again, the entire gun minus the bipod is under $800. Now, for some of you, even that might be pushing the budgetary limits, okay? Which is understandable. This isn't a gun that everybody should feel like they need to have, right? If you've got a preparedness group or something like that, maybe just one person in it, would want to have one. I don't know. That's up to y'all, right? But I think we can safely put to rest the idea that you can't take a off-the-rack, simple gun like this from Palmetto State, put it together, and have you an effective longer range gun, okay? Anybody that tells you otherwise, they have an agenda of some kind. I'll just leave it at that. There's an agenda of some kind there if they're telling you, because you just saw what I did, and again, somebody with better eyes and doesn't have the astigmatism problem that I've got and I'm struggling with. Getting older sucks. Might be able to do even better. I'll tell you what, when I was 19, I would have loved to have had this gun. At 19, I ain't bragging on myself, but at 19 I could have done some wonderful things with this setup right here. So, again, 18-inch stainless barrel Palmetto State Armory upper. It's got their 1-in-7 wild chambered barrel on it. It's all Palmetto State Armory. Got the upper, the parts kit, and the strip lower. The Primary Arms R-Grid 2B scope. I can't say enough good things about that scope, guys. It's an amazing scope. For the money, it's an absolute steal. This thing does what scopes easily 3 times the cost of this one will do. Again, for an armed prepared citizen who's not shooting, matches at Camp Perry, this sucker's got some got a lot going for it. Now, good friend of mine, he also has the Primary Arms 4-14 HUD DMR scope. Pretty much the same scope, just a different reticle setup. And I am really hoping to try to find some time in the coming months that he and I can get this gun and his that he put together, very similar to this, out at the same time and shoot them side by side and kind of compare some notes. So that may be a little ways off. What we're going to have to coordinate schedules over the next few months, but I want to try to make that happen. So again, no expensive match grade trigger, just Palmetto State's EPT trigger. No fancy match grade barrel, just Palmetto State's wild chambered stainless barrel. No expensive scope or mount. Primary arms, Aero Precision. And the Aero Precision mount, I gotta say, that's a phenomenal steel as well for the money. It's lightweight and it's rock solid. Nothing bad or negative to say about that thing at all. I don't know what else to tell you guys other than you can make it happen. Is it a quarter MOA gun? Probably not. Although it may be. Again, accuracy dependent, not accuracy, ammo dependent, and loose nut behind the trigger dependent. But when I can do that at 50 yards with bulk Georgia Arms 69 grain ammo, that translates into I can hit pretty much whatever I want within the given distances that this gun's capable of, especially given the terrain. And that's the last thing I'll shut up rambling about. Keep in mind your terrain, guys. If you're out in the Midwest where you've got broad open spaces, something like a 308 might be a better choice where you can really take advantage of those longer distances. For me, most people in the southeastern United States, even just the eastern seaboard United States, in the real world, off of an actual range, I think you're going to be hard pressed to find engagement distances past, even if the world went Mad Max, past 200 or 300 yards. Maybe 400 in some areas, but even then, 200 to 300 is probably the absolute limit because the woods are too thick, the cities are too built up, and the urban and suburban neighborhoods are just too thick. They're just too much cover for people to be behind. Getting those long open shots, it's probably the rarity if we're just completely honest. So you can set up that 1,000-yard, 308, but is it going to do anything at 200 that this one won't do? Realistically, probably not. And that'll be the last thing. Again, this one's a 5.56. I love 308, guys. It's a great round. Used to have them, love them. Just not, the most beneficial and practical for what I have in my area, my terrain. I want to keep the commonality of the ammo all the same, because rest assured, a bullet out of this gun at 400 yards through your upper chest cavity in a real crap it defense situation, or any other situation for that matter, you just had a really bad day. Okay? Throw out the hype, throw out all the numbers on the paper. You put a bullet from this gun into your chest at 400 yards, it's not gonna go well for you, okay? Just saying. That's the real. That's just being real. All right. Enough rambling. I love my little poor man's poodle shooter. If this is above what you want to have or feel like it's appropriate, Go look at my video on my poor man's DMR gun. That one's probably my 100 to 200 yard precision gun. I could carry that in a team on patrol, and everybody else have regular iron sighted or 1X sighted, red dot sighted carbines, and I can still fight with that gun. But then if I need to be more accurate out to a couple of 100 yards, it gives me that capability. Maybe that fits into your budget a little better. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. You can set that gun up real similar and get a somewhat different use out of it and go from that. I'd say this one's probably 100 to whatever distance gun. My poor man's DMR gun's probably more of a 0 to 200 yard gun, although it's easily capable further than that. That's kind of the role that I would run it in, but just in that 0 to 200, more accurate than what I can be with a 1X or iron-sighted gun. So go check that one out too. More to come on this one. I have a class coming up that I want to go take and do. I'm going to take this gun and the DMR gun. So I have two of my poor man's guns with me. We'll see how it does in the class coming up that I want to do, and then I'll get some more range time with both of them as well, just to kind of keep you guys in the loop on how they're doing. If something changes on them, they get better, get worse, whatever, you're going to hear about it. So, as always, guys, take care, stay safe, keep getting after it, and I'll see you later.